Thanks to the resub, Nevik, and hey, pre-notification gang. Hey, Scar, thanks for the resub. Thanks to the resub, Pizza Man. And the resub movie music. Thanks to the resub, Coxical, Ace, and gift sub, Kurafin. Yeah, it is a bit of a late stream. Thanks to the resub, AJ and Cheeks. Hey, Scoots. Thanks to the gift sub, Matman. And the resub, Roz, Soto, and gift sub, Matman. Did you see the fight that happened at Joe's Pizza? No, is it cool? Thanks to resub, Big, Subway, Crazy, and Mika. And Joda. Zeitgeist and Cats. Thanks to the 5 gift subs, haha. And the resub CDBA. Yeah, I saw CoffeeZilla uploaded today. The $1 billion fraud. And thanks to the 5 gift subs, Lambo. Thanks to the resub, Kia. And the bits, Kurafin. And the resub, Bob. And the resub, Depression and Squilliam. Am I trying out the finals tomorrow? Oh, does that start tomorrow? Yeah, maybe I'll play it tomorrow night. Thanks to resub, Felipe and Puppy. Yeah, if you have extra keys, I'll take one, Denkin, sure. And there's the resub, Braid, and Bits Cheese. And the resub, Green Banana. Oh, good lord. And the 50 gift subs, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. Hope you've been well. Thank you for the fat fucking drop, man. Hope you've had a good weekend. Thanks to the 5 gift subs, Shush. You should watch the Blade Runner movie analysis. From who? Thanks to the Bits Logan. No, I haven't seen the new Eddie Burback video yet. I saw the title though. Sounds interesting. Thanks to resub, James. And the Prime, Rexary and Bits Universal. More oolong. Not tonight. It's kind of late and I'm pretty tired, so it probably won't be a super long stream or anything. We had big basketball games tonight. Might have pulled my hammy, I'm not really sure, but definitely just want to kind of relax. Have you been keeping up with The Last of Us? Yeah, I just haven't seen the newest episode yet. These are 3 gift subs, Universal. What's your favorite Bloons tower defense game? I don't know. They've never made a bad Bloons game. I played like all of them throughout school. Thanks a bits, Bobby. No, I'm not going to spoil anything for the next MWL. But yeah, we're working on getting that set up. Hopefully it won't take too long. Thanks a resub, Tofino. What's your favorite Deftones song? Change. Thanks a resub, Christian in Tier 1 K-Dog and the Bits Universal. Thanks a resub, Broke. And the gift sub again, Universal, and resub Real Steel. Favorite Alice in Chains song? Wood. Did I see the new TMNT movie trailer? No, I did not. I'm assuming it's this one.
Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
I haven't watched TMNT in many, many, many years. I saw the second live action movie though, never the first. Things are some Rudy shenanigans and username and the bits shush.
Lob it up. Lob it up.
Stay still. Stay still.
Now. Oh. Let's try that again, but with ninja stars.
Hey,
Here's a
why do
Brian
we pick a
Vorte.
fruit shaped exactly
There's
like
some
my head?
unknown and
Stop
less
talking.
like
You're
you.
ruining my concentration.
You're fine. Chill. He's gonna die.
Wait, did you hear
The
that?
style
What
is
was
pretty cool.
Well, nothing we can do. You guys want to grab pizza?
Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it? What
I've been
the
really
heck
appreciating
are those
modern
things? They're like
animated
little
movies.
Shreks.
They're all choosing very unique styles now. Instead of being pretty cookie cutter
We've prepared our whole
standard.
lives for this. Can I kick it?
Oh my, I'm gonna be sick.
Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
It was an accident. Mikey, watch out!
These are the two anonymous gift subs.
So you were baby turtles who made contact with mystery goo.
Well, we prefer the term ooze, but yeah.
It's like more like it's just nicer.
It rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Why does it have to be such Zoomer dialogue? Brother, these are children. It's literally kids. That's why it's Zoomer dialogue. Looks like it's gonna be like child turtles. That's why. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, by the way. Well, this was before they were teenage. This is pre-teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think. Things that resub Craig and Skyrat. Things that resub Damp and Snidarian. And Bored. Do I think they'd learn from the success of the Spider-Verse movies? I'm sure Spider-Verse had like a big effect on animated films. Like its effect was absolutely felt in Puss in Boots 2. That's for damn sure. He's a prime scope and resub. Amano Jaku. And the prime TBI. Thanks to the resub. Updated. Skill Up is interviewing the Destiny 2 director soon. About, like, the narrative? You made it sound like it was more pointed. Or is it just like a general interview? Because I doubt they'd want to talk about the narrative. They probably wouldn't field, like, tough questions about it, would be my guess. Because in general, I think most people really like the gameplay elements that Lightfall's introduced, and most people are super optimistic for the raid, but the vast majority of people were, well, everyone was let down by the story, unfortunately. But everything else was amazing. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Kobe. Thanks the resub shit. No, I actually don't know that wrestler. That sounds cool. Thanks the resub, Josh. You done a deep dive into Blue Waffle? No, that's a very well documented history. There's no questions when it comes to Blue Waffle. You getting everyone together at the warehouse for the raid? Well, 3 of us, yeah. 3 out of 6.
But then last year, they declared bankruptcy. Celsius is a billion-dollar company that told its customers to unbank yourself with crypto. But then
Amen.
last year, they declared bankruptcy and sold a new shirt.
I remember that too.
Unbankrupt yourself. Now, at the time, I reported on extreme incompetence, but stopped short of using the F word, fraud, because we just didn't have all the evidence.
Until
but today,
now.
that changes because of thousands of pages of new court documents, Celsius insiders talking, and my personal interviews with victims. Make no mistake, this was a gigantic fraud. People's lives have been ruined, and the founder might get away with it. So to help shine a light on this issue, here is my full investigation.
That's just kind of the whole crypto space. Even if it is blatant fraud, the founder just literally might get away with it because it's crypto. Sad reality of it.
Celsius.
Thanks the resub, Kringle, and the Prime Blue, the resub Klutz. The bits Cardi sleep well.
So when
Probably
we're talking
not
about
crazy.
taking back power, it's really not even from the government. It's really from corporations that dominate our lives. And that system, right, does not work for 95% of the people on the planet. Why? Because the banks control all the money in the world. We talk about all the money in the world. What Celsius does is really helps people navigate in a safe way into this environment. So when you use a Celsius wallet, you know, okay, I'm gonna earn yield and I'm gonna stay safe in a safe environment.
Sign me the fuck up.
Celsius already did the homework and figured out what's safe. Normally we trust people that...
I always love that. Hey, don't think too hard. We'll tell you what's safe. That always makes me feel good. Whenever someone says some shit like that, it's like, I know that there is some shady shit afoot. No, trust us, trust us. We looked into it ourselves and we've determined these are what's safe.
that we think are acting in our best interest. But what if these people are not acting in our best interest? What if their interest is exactly the opposite of ours? Should we continue giving them our money, or should we take the money and put it somewhere else?
To understand Celsius and how they got 30 billion in assets, you first have to understand what they were selling. It wasn't just a place to borrow or lend money. It was more than that. It was a battle against the evil banks, and their CEO, Alex Mashinsky, was here to level the playing field.
Banks are not your friends.
But Alex is your friend?
Yes. So I have a lot of my own money in the company, several $100 million as well. I'm talking about as a user of the service, not as a equity shareholder. So basically everybody came in and said, hey, can I take the same ride on the same bus with you? You're earning 8.8%, can I earn it? And the answer is yes, you get exactly the same. You have $100 or $1,000 or $1 million, you earn the same yield as everybody else.
And this pitch was really attractive.
Man,
not to mention,
he's just
Celsius
like us.
offered 8% on your money at a time when your bank probably offered less than 1%. Mashinsky said this is part of how he was battling the banks.
We basically thought, okay, how many people in the world want to earn more money on their money, yield? And we
Nobody.
said 8
No one
billion
wants that.
people are going to say, of course, I want to earn more money on my money. So the customer was there. The second part was, we can take on the banks and win. Why? Because 8 billion people are going to join you. And that was really the key to make that decision. Then we went and presented it to 200 venture companies, and they all said, nope, you're not going to win against the banks. So we went to the community. We actually went to the community, said, we're going to build this for you. Do you want it? And we raised $50 million from the community. And then we went and raised $400 million from investors after we showed them, hey, 1.5 million people showed up.
God, that's so
30
sad
billion
knowing how
in
this story
assets
plays
they've
out.
given us 30 billion.
Fuck,
We've proven
Jesus.
that people will send somebody money to manage or digital assets to manage. And that was really a breakthrough. No one has done that in 700 years of banking. There hasn't been anyone who actually taken on the banks in a real way.
And this clearly worked. Celsius customers told me that the reason they switched was just to get a higher yield on their money.
Honestly, I was looking for a place to stake and earn interest and earn yield on my crypto.
I was actually first in crypto.com, and then I saw Celsius on YouTube. It had higher yields and everything, so I kind of moved my stuff from crypto.com to Celsius.
People were writing about Alex Mashinsky and all the messaging on the website. You know, he's an entrepreneur.
Hold on, I wanted to read that. Why trust Celsius? What was the old pitch? That's pretty quick. I imagine it went on for much further.
On the website, you know, he's an entrepreneur that had created all these companies and he didn't need the money. You know, this was billed as a high yield savings account.
Once again, he just said something that is the nail in the coffin for so many people. He already had so much money, he didn't need the money. AKA, this guy's already rich, surely he wouldn't scam me. That is one of the most fucking common threads in the, not only the crypto space, I guess, in general. This perception of they're so wealthy they wouldn't need to scam, thus they would never take advantage of us. And then every time, like clockwork, shit like this happens. It was the same story for fucking CryptoZoo with Logan Paul, for example. Like, it is... I don't know how much longer that perception's going to last, but hopefully it's done pretty soon, because goddamn, that is the undoing of so many people. Is the prime tension. Oh, and thank you for the raid, MJ. Hope you had a great stream. Thanks for the resub, Bear. Did I see Russell Brand on JRE? What? No. Can't say I did.
That was outside the traditional financial.
Sure, oh yeah, true. Surely by default, these people are better than the banks because everyone hates banks. It was a very smart angle. It really was. I think banks are a very easy one. Like, hey, we don't like banks, so don't bank with them. And yeah, unbank yourself and come to Celsius. It's very appealing, especially with like an 8.8 interest rate and all that. Like, it's no surprise it took off. It's not shocking. Thanks to the resub Tyrant and the gift sub Calamitous and the resub Javier. And no, I don't know what that is, Carp.
Systems.
Now look, of course, in hindsight,
Thanks to the resub
maybe
ZC.
these high interest rates should have been obvious red flags, but at the time, because of other crypto projects, things didn't seem so crazy.
There was also others that were much, much bigger and much higher. You know, look at Luna and stuff like that. So.
Oh, it's crazy. It's all connected. Terra Luna, this is Do Kwon's project. This was at a point the third largest traded crypto, and this went to actual less than zero, costing normal, average people billions of dollars. They lost everything. It is wild how it all just circles back around in the space, man. I think Do Kwon's still on the FBI's most wanted list unless he got caught or turned himself in, or I don't really know the status of that, but for a little while he was like a legitimate fucking fugitive from the law. Is there some Tyler sampling and Lil Uzi?
Luna and stuff like that. So in comparison, it didn't seem as crazy at the time.
But it wasn't just the competitors who convinced people, it was Mashinsky himself, who gave a really compelling argument that banks were lending out your money and keeping most of the profit for themselves, and he was going to do something different.
We're paying fees upon fees upon fees. They charge us $24, 24% per year to basically borrow money on our credit card. They charge us 24%, but they pay us 0.1%. So where is all that profit going to, right? It's going to the toll collectors. So the opportunity is really for all of us to, again, go off this toll highway road and go into a new world where we don't pay any tolls, we don't pay any fees, we act in our best interest.
And this is the vision that most people bought into. Alex was going to lend out your money and pass most of the profits back to you, 80% in fact.
And that was the argument that was repeatedly said. I remember them talking about how 80% of their profits were returned to users as a reward. And so that's what I thought I was doing. I thought I was loaning money to someone that had posted enough collateral to pay back in the event of a default.
We then lend it to the institution. The institution.
I mean, it's not stupid. Like, the people that bought into it aren't stupid for it.
$700 million of interest from the institution and distribute most of that. 80% of that went to the retail users. 80% of whatever we collected. Celsians next to you are benefiting because we are lending the collateral you gave us, redistributing 80% of that income with all the other Celsians. So it's a win-win-win.
Now, of course, if that's not enough to convince you, Celsius also said that in addition to making high yield, they were extremely conservative. They told customers that there was collateral backing up all their loans in case of a disaster. And the key thing to understand here is that this secured loan with collateral is much less risky than unsecured loans where there is no collateral. And ultimately, Celsius said because of this, a bank run wouldn't affect them.
And every day, we have a process, the daily reconciliation process, where our team, like 20 or 25 people, get on a call and grind through all the tokens and all the coins and make sure that we have more coins than what we owe the community, right? That's our process. And no bank in the world can do that for you because they never have enough assets to return for you if there is a run on the bank.
And these promises of safety and collateralization were key to people actually putting their money in with Celsius.
When I deposited my money in Celsius, I thought their primary business model was over-collateralized lender. I thought they would deposit more assets than they borrowed money on the platform and they'd pay interest to pay a return. And so that way I said, hey, I'm not going to lose my money because all of the loans are over-collateralized and I'm able to earn a yield.
And look, all of this...
Like this guy, that guy in particular, clearly had like a fundamental understanding of it and buying into the vision. But like, if one of the main things is I probably won't lose my money because of this, it's like, that's not like a super strong reason to get into it. If like, I probably won't lose all my money here. I don't know. But then again, I'm just super jaded on crypto entirely. Thanks to Resub, Cosby, Scythe, Sinchi, and the Prime Felix. That's how finance works. I mean, I don't think anyone ever puts money into the bank and being like, well, hopefully I don't lose all this money by it being in the bank. That doesn't typically happen. I'm not saying it's impossible or anything, but that's not typically what happens. I'm no fan of banks either. But to go to like goofball crypto to try and replace it is very risky. Thanks to the resub, Goddess and Bunny. Do bank robberies not happen? Brother, if your bank got robbed right now and you lost a lot of money, that shit is insured. You would get that money back. So even if fucking Wile E. Coyote and the Dirty Boys came out and they stole from your bank and you lost money in that robbery, you are getting that money back. It's insured. Whereas if it happened in crypto, where, like, let's use an example, Axie Infinity, which is a crypto game, and they got hacked for 600 mil. Hacked, I imagine there's probably some shady shit at play there where they just took 600 mil off the table, called it a hack. Don't know for sure, but that'd be my guess. You don't get that back. That's just gone. That's just straight up fucking gone. You ever notice Dr. Stone is mid? I didn't like season 2 of Dr. Stone, so I still haven't even seen the movie that came out.
Sounds great. And so far we've been establishing why people were so excited about Celsius in the first place. So if that was the case, then what's the problem? Well, the problem was Celsius went bankrupt. And not everything was as it seemed. Let's go back to the studio.
Crypto lender went from managing billions in assets to filing for bankruptcy in just a matter of months.
CNBC obtained dozens of internal
Can't
documents
believe
that
it.
part show disorganization as prices drop and the industry faces a liquidity crunch.
The collapse of Celsius came as a huge surprise to anyone listening to Alex Mashinsky. All the way up to shutting down, he had claimed that Celsius had billions of dollars in liquidity just ready for withdrawals.
We have billions of dollars in liquidity. So anyone who wants to withdraw, that's a service. You can withdraw at any time.
So what happened? If that was true, why did it fall apart? Well, the picture wasn't clear at the time. We heard allegations from people like Dirty Bubble Media that Alex Mashinsky was selling his own tokens. We also found out that Alex withdrew money off of Celsius before it shut down. But at this point, we didn't fully understand why Celsius had collapsed. Was it just incompetence or greed? These were open questions until a few weeks ago, because that's when the court-appointed examiner released her 600-page report detailing exactly what happened with Celsius. In this massive report, the examiner details not only systemic lying, a Ponzi-like scheme, but also tells us what I think constitutes fraud. Here's a breakdown of the report, starting with the biggest lie of all: the interest you'd get on depositing your crypto. You see, for years, Celsius had been telling people they paid what they did because it was 80% of their profits they were earning from all these loans.
And we're very proud as well to pay out over 80% of our revenues directly back to the community. And so this is something that we are going to continue to do. And we look very carefully at all of our numbers on both sides to make sure that we are doing that. And that's also what is helping us decide the rates every single week that we're paying out on coins.
You gotta take a better look at those numbers then,
According
actually.
to the report, Celsius did not distribute up to 80% of its revenues to its customers because it had little to no profits to even distribute. Celsius also made no efforts to set its reward rates based on its yield. And look, I know what you're thinking. If they didn't set the rewards based on what they actually were making as a company, what did they set them based on? Well, on getting more customers. And according to the report, Celsius consistently set its reward rates based on what they perceived was necessary to beat the competition. And for most of Celsius's existence, the rewards it paid exceeded by substantial amounts the revenues Celsius could earn. So for those of you following along, the whole idea that we're paying 80% of what we make was a total fabrication. Celsius just wanted more customers, which, as you might imagine, works when you're bringing on more assets with new users than you're paying in interest. But eventually, when you have billions of dollars in assets,
Seems like textbook
you have to
fraud
pay
to me then.
rewards based on that.
Already.
And the Celsius team realized they had a problem. But even as some within Celsius management attempted to lower reward rates, Mashinsky, quote, overrode their recommendations and refused to do so.
No, not
One example
Mashinsky.
of
That guy
this
is a
was when
golden
Jason
saint.
Perman, a Celsius executive, recalled Mashinsky saying that Celsius could not cut its reward rates because of his belief that our customers will leave us. And that, quote, our investors didn't invest in us to shrink, they invested in us to double. So with this new understanding that they weren't going to be able to lower reward
chef
rates,
and hydration.
they realized
Matt
they
and
were
Funk.
stuck with the other strategy,
Fire.
trying to raise what they were
Bit
able
Shadow.
to make with their assets by employing riskier investment strategies to try to get closer to profitability. And guess what? They lied about this too. Even as the company started to make riskier investments, like offering unsecured loans, Mashinsky told people the opposite. He said everything was business as usual.
Celsius is very, very strict at who we lend to, right? So we only lend to the first tier institutions, first tier exchanges. We do not do all kind of unsecured lending like a lot of people are talking about or saying Celsius does unsecured. We do not do unsecured lending.
But of course, this wasn't
Prove
true.
it.
Celsius internally had been talking about the number of unsecured loans they were giving out increasing, shown here in orange. And internally on Slack, executives were furious. Quote, I just told him that the number is increasing and the overall ratio of collateral with institutions is going down. Another
sounds like it was-
responded, yes.
This is interesting. It sounds like it was actually mainly Mashinsky that sank this whole fucking company. I thought it was going to be like a collaborative, fraudulent effort, but it really looks like most people identified Mashinsky as the problem point. He was the one that was like overriding decisions and going buck wild on it. At least so far, I guess, with these 2 points. Thanks to the resub, Real Pine. Give sub dash. If anyone looked at the actual interest rate, they'd know that 8% is impossible when lending to credible firms. I'm not super familiar with that, but it does sound like outrageously high. Like unrealistically high, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. Maybe that was reasonable to think it was possible. Thanks to resub Britannia. The bits girth. Oh wow, I'll have to check that out, Girth. Oh, that's weird, Shadow. I don't know why it's saying that. Why the fuck would a firm pay 8% interest when they can issue a bond at 3%? You're talking to the wrong guy about all that.
So why does he publish so dangerous statements? Everyone out there, if you have an unsecured loan, tell everyone that I'm a liar. But in the end, no one did call him a liar, even as he literally asked for it.
Here, I'm calling on anyone who received an unsecured loan, go on Twitter and make fun out of Alex Mashinsky. Say, hey, I took a loan, here's my loan number. You know, I took a loan from Celsius and then I did not have to provide at least 200% collateral.
And through the next year, Mashinsky continued to boast about how safe Celsius was, even as the team began to engage in riskier behavior. In the same year, Celsius would recognize $800 million in losses from some of these investments. Mashinsky told the Financial Times in June 2021 this.
From a risk standpoint, we are probably one of the least risky businesses that regulators worldwide have ever seen.
How does that not immediately trip people's red flags? That would sound alarm bells for me if I was considering like investing or putting money into something and I heard someone say this, like the CEO. I'd be like, yep, no fucking shot. Any company worth its salt, any legitimate organization doesn't usually boast so proudly about things like that. Usually it's like action speaking louder than words. So you'd be able to find information on whether or not this company or whatever is trustworthy. You wouldn't need to get it from the horse's mouth here. Oh, we're actually considered one of the least risky businesses the regulators worldwide have ever seen, like in the history of the world. They've actually given us like 5,000 gold stars for how safe we are. Like, it's actually nuts. They can't stop praising how safe and legit we are. Regulators love us. True. Yeah. Thanks to the resubs, Sinka and Jazz Hole. The resub Obama. The resub bros. But it seems to be his whole MO. He would just go on to like podcasts, make public appearances or whatever, all just like, hey, we're super safe. Everyone knows we're super safe. We're not risky. This and that. Meanwhile, half the shit that they were preaching was literally just a lie, I guess. They used AI for his voice. Oh, man. Yeah, they were just a little too soon. You could say it was all deep faked. Will he go to jail? I don't know. I haven't finished the video yet. Coffee said there's a good chance he gets away with it. You see the episode of Shark Tank where the guy pitches a pyramid scheme? Yeah. That was great. That's a classic. Hold on, give me 2 seconds though. I want to tinkle real quick. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for resub, Kev.
Around the time he was saying this, Celsius was over $500 million underwater on their liabilities, as shown by the black line, which represents a net surplus. By the end of the year 2021, Celsius would owe $1 billion that they did not have. Things were looking bad.
Wait a minute. I thought you said this was a fraud.
It is a fraud.
Maybe to you, Coffee. There's another way of looking at this.
What do you mean?
Resub Desiree
Well,
and
imagine
Ellie.
I'm defending Celsius as a
And
lawyer.
wait.
You're a mixologist and a lawyer?
Hey, I could pass the bar if I wanted to. I already work at one. But anyways, what I would say if you were coming at my client is look.
I feel like the CG's
all this
improving.
lying and losing money, standard fake it till you make it stuff. They could have become profitable eventually. Now, did they fail? Yes. But trying a business and failing, that's the American dream, Coffee.
Do you actually believe that, though?
Doesn't matter what I believe. If a single person on that jury was an entrepreneur, Alex would walk.
Well, either way, your hypothetical doesn't even matter. Moistcr isn't even being criminally charged.
Wait, really? Well, I rest my case then.
Yeah, nice try. But it's not that simple. They're still suing him for some of the money. He's just not being criminally charged.
Thanks, Risha. War
And
Pig
let me
and Bunny.
guess, you don't think that's enough?
No, I don't think it's enough. I mean, it's a slap on the wrist. It's a financial speeding ticket for a guy who ruined so many people's lives.
But that's my point, Coffee. If you think it's so wrong, you gotta give me more than this.
But how? You said it yourself. They're just gonna claim incompetence. They faked it till they didn't make it.
Ah.
Isn't that... I could be wrong. Isn't that in and of itself a big no-no in the... Like, as an actual mega corporation? You can't fake anything. That's like a crucial point. It has to be all above board and legitimate. Isn't that... Am I off my rocker? You can't just like fudge your information and lie. Not to like investors, which I mean technically the people were. You have to prove it at some point or people will find out. Well, right. Well, eventually what happened is, I mean, you know the story. They went bankrupt. Everyone lost their ass on it. Like that's, we know how it ends. But isn't that like criminal if it's openly faked? Like they were lying about the claims, right? They lied about the interest. They lied about the 80%, whatever. A lot of lies. Isn't that in and of itself already a legal problem? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about how the regulation would work on a company of this scale or anything, so couldn't tell you. But I feel like that the whole like incompetence because they were faking it till they made it doesn't really work. I feel like that would still be like a legal problem, but maybe not. I don't know.
That's because the evidence so far is lies and incompetence. You need to show a definitive step across that line. That's the only way people are gonna believe you. Well, that and...
What?
Well, this might be ironic coming from me, but it wouldn't hurt to humanize the story a bit. Don't get stuck in the technical jargon. Nobody can follow that. Make me feel something.
As much as it pains me to say this, I think you might be right. Let me see what I can do.
What does that money mean to me? It means a lot, actually. I've been working since
Well, yeah, I
14.
imagine. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
I was investing this my first couple of jobs out of college.
Ultimately stopped us from buying a house because, I mean, it was half of our down payment was locked and, you know, I couldn't get it. So
Things are
it was a big
tier
impact,
1
actually.
KQ.
Honestly, that
Some
loss was a culmination of many years of work, to be quite frank. I saw it as my way to escape.
What that money means to me, it's a lot more freedom with what we're able to do as a family.
To describe what the money I lost meant to me is really hard because it's tied into a lot of what it feels like to be a grown-up or an adult. I feel like I have this stunted development. You know, I'm almost 40 at this point, and I'm very aware as a stuntman that wants to be physical. If we have a kid last year like we wanted, all right, maybe by the time he's 20, I could show him some stuff. But the longer we wait, the more I watch my dreams and my future and my hope to be like a proper functioning adult slip through my fingers. It's hard to describe what that's tied into, but it just feels like I can't proceed with life, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And hearing these stories made me realize just showing lies isn't enough. If I'm going to demonstrate fraud, I need to get to the heart of Celsius. And that's when I found out about the flywheel. The flywheel was central to Celsius's plan to become profitable, and here's how it worked. Celsius was not just a crypto platform. They also had a crypto token called Cell, and they controlled
They
the
all
vast
do,
majority
always.
of it, up to 95%.
So, hold on. I want to take a quick guess here. I'm going to imagine this is a pretty close to FTX situation where it turns out that they were reinvesting, and I'll use the term very loosely, their Cell tokens. You mentioned that they had the lion's share. I imagine that instead of securing those loans or the investments or anything like that, they would instead take their Cell and put it elsewhere to try and generate money off that on the back end, is my guess.
If the price of Cell went
Thanks,
up,
Prime KJ.
theoretically, the
There's some
balance
Steffi and
sheet
Rennie.
of Celsius would also go up, and they could sustain these insane reward rates. However, in order to do so, they needed people to actually want Cell token. So the flywheel was Mashinsky's plan to do that, to create a positive feedback loop. And the way they did this was set up Cell token like a rewards program, where you could earn bonus interest if you held a certain amount of Cell, which obviously incentivizes people who wanted to get the most out of their accounts to buy and hold these Cell tokens. On their website, they described this process as a self-sustaining ecosystem, where users would buy Cell, earn more yield, get more crypto, collect interest, earn more yield, lend more coins, collect more interest, and buy more Cell tokens. Now, of course, you might notice a problem here. What if people actually go to sell their Cell tokens? Wouldn't that crash the price? Well, Mashinsky had an answer for this too. He told the community that Celsius would buy Cell tokens in order to pay their rewards, theoretically creating demand out of thin air. Here's him explaining this.
Basically, more visitors usually translates to more app downloads, and that translates to more deposits. More deposit allows us to do more loans. More loans generate more income, and more income means more income that Celsius generates from these coins that people gave us, translates into us having to buy more Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cell token, and so on.
So, okay, that's the flywheel. Why does it matter? Well, the flywheel and this Cell token became the place where all sorts of shenanigans happened with Celsius, because while the community was aware that they were buying back Cell to pay rewards, what they didn't know was that Celsius was using customer funds to do so, to buy their own
Nice.
coins. What they imagined they were doing was that they were using all this profit they were theoretically generating from making these loans to buy their own token, but that wasn't the case. This was because, as we said earlier, Celsius wasn't really profitable at all. So the only money they had to buy Cell token was their own customers' money. But it gets even worse, because starting in 2020, Celsius decided to substantially expand its purchases of Cell for the purpose of increasing Cell's price. Instead of buying Cell when it needed to pay rewards, Celsius began timing its purchases so that they would prop up Cell's price by creating activity in the market. Now, of course, the question is here, why would Celsius go beyond its mandate to purchase more Cell than necessary and artificially boost the price? Well, perhaps it has something to do with the top holder of Celsius being Mashinsky and his executives. And this was the only way they could sell some of these tokens without crashing the price. According to the investigation, quote, between 2018 and June 2022, Mr. Mashinsky sold at least 25 million Cell tokens, realizing at least $68.7 million on these sales. Daniel Leon, also a founder of Celsius, sold at least 2.6 million in Cell
surely that's good for the good of the platform, though.
$9.74 million as well. That's a cash out of over $70 million, while Celsius was buying these sales to prevent the price from going down. Quote, Celsius often increased the size of its resting orders to buy all of the Cell that Mr. Mashinsky and his other companies were selling. The former chief financial officer would write, "We are talking about becoming a regulated entity, and we are doing something possibly illegal and definitely not compliant." Some employees, of course, were even more direct. Quote, "If anyone found out about our position and how much our founders took in USD, could be a very bad look. We are using users' USDC to pay for employees' worthless Cell." And even worse, in 2022, their coin deployment specialist described their practices of buying up Cell and using customer coins as very Ponzi-like.
That seems like a dagger. I was a little off on my prediction. It's even fucking stupider. Well, I guess not stupid because they made out with like 70 mil, but it's even shittier. Thanks to resub Sarah, Pickle, and Keen. crypto laundering is like the new charity. Yeah, I guess. I think it's the prime money. Sucks for the investors. Well, yeah, it sucks for any normal person using the platform. Great for the people at the top, though, who are just literally selling worthless sell using the customer funds. So they're selling this useless shit using customers' real money to purchase it in order to keep the price stable. So, yep. Thanks to Prime Admiral. No, not doing any Destiny rating tonight. Artificial demand to stabilize a coin. USD conversion all while it crashed when it's found out. Yep. Pretty big brain, I guess. And they would have got away with it too. I guess. I actually don't know what the plan was. It seemed like this was always destined to completely collapse. Even if the majority of crypto didn't like have their big collapse recently, I feel like Celsius was destined 100% to die. Thanks for some ducks and Mike Wazowski. Thanks for some roasted. I just don't see how there was ever any potential argument to make that they were trying to become profitable. Because there's like no legitimate effort. This isn't a sustainable thing. This is like cash out for the top level people. This is make a lot of money off of garbage. And already a lot of their claims were blatant lies. Like I just don't even see what the actual full-blown scheme was. Well, I mean, I see what the scheme was. They made a lot of money. But like how there'd even be an argument that like, they were eventually going to be profitable. They just failed along the way due to incompetence or whatever.
And a few weeks later, when this person was asked where money was coming from to buy sell, this person would say, users like always. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the core story. Not merely lying, it's a story of using customer funds to buy out your executives and manipulate your own cryptocurrency so you can sell for a higher price. In fact, Celsius's own purchases of their own tokens were such a large component of the market that overlaying the price of Celsius with the amount that Celsius was buying results in a near perfect match of the price change. And ultimately what this meant for the end user is that the money they thought were being used for safe loans or for generating yield were actually squandered on this flywheel mechanism. And the result was that Celsius just didn't have the money to pay customers back. And what's so wild about this is that Celsius didn't even need to buy their own Cell token in the first place. They already controlled 95% of all the Cell tokens in existence, so they could have just paid rewards from that instead of buying Cell in the open market. When asked why they did it this way, one executive responded that the answer lies in who holds the most Cell. In other words, buying Cell on the open market was what propped up the price, which benefited no one more than Alex Mashinsky, who executives would refer to as the biggest seller by far and depressing the market, selling up to $165,000 a day. As a result of all these actions, by the time Celsius would pause withdrawals, they had a shortfall of over $7 billion owed to customers, which after a crypto crash was more like $4 to $5 billion. Either way, hundreds of thousands of lives were ruined. And this, in my view, is where Celsius crossed the bright red line.
I feel like they've already
Rather than
done
just being
that.
An incompetent lender, they had created a scheme with Cell Token where new users' funds had to be used to prop up Cell Token value, which benefited their executives. It also created a need to use new customer funds to pay out old customers because of their impossibly high rates of rewards to fuel growth. According to the Examiner, this all meant that Celsius Network on a standalone basis has been insolvent since inception. This meant that new users always had to keep on coming in to keep Mashinsky's flywheel going. And when
Very
they stopped coming,
Ponzi-like.
it was doomed to collapse. This is the textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme, where new users' deposits are required to pay old users' withdrawals. And according to the Examiner, this actually happened explicitly multiple times. One example is from June 2022, when Celsius relied on $33.4 million of USDC of new customer deposits to fund withdrawals of old customers, which Celsius couldn't afford. And this, unfortunately, is the
So
real
how do you
story
defend
of
it?
Celsius, a Ponzi scheme designed as a way to take on the banks and fight for the little guy. But hey, don't take it from me. I'm just a third party. Take it from the victims themselves. I asked them what they thought.
So this was an absolute fraud from the
Thanks,
beginning.
Arisa,
I mean, it
Gavin,
turns out that a
Blue,
lot of these
Cat,
businesses
and the
that they
Prime
claimed to
Frosty
be
and
propping up
PC.
Celsius were completely
Arisa, Blue,
fraudulent.
like,
From
and
what
Guppy.
I've seen from the Examiner, more and more it looks like it was just a textbook case of a Ponzi scheme.
I don't care if it was a Ponzi scheme from the very beginning or the very end. It still was a Ponzi scheme.
It doesn't matter if he meant to start a Ponzi scheme, right? But the second you got into those circumstances, it becomes fraud.
They're basically losing money from the very start of the company, and they're literally lying in front of everyone's faces saying, yeah, oh, it's totally fine. Yeah, you could totally keep our money in here. Yeah, I would totally invest more if I could. As they're currently at that same time withdrawing funds as they're literally on camera lying to everyone's faces.
He made a lot of egregious claims on his Twitter, on his website, on his podcasts he would do, claiming if Celsius ever went bankrupt, all the customers would get all of their funds back. You know, there's tweets of him saying that.
Oh, his
And
Twitter's
as the
locked?
CEO of a company, you would take that word
Coward.
at face value. You would believe him when he says that your coins are going to come back to you. And now that everything is coming to light and showing that essentially what he was running is a Ponzi, I do believe he should face jail time, and the people that were also involved with it that were enabling that behavior.
There needs to be an example set, or we're going to see more of these grifters in this space, like Sam Bankman-Fried and others who just take advantage of people who believe in the technology, who believe in innovation. And you're not supposed to steal people's money, just plain and simple. You know, it's called theft. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Just being stripped of all of your wealth like that. Emotional, psychological torture. You ruined people's
Arisa.
lives, Alex. You
Fridge.
ruined their lives, man.
I've seen
A
so
bit
many
shadow.
people who are retired. I've seen people who are disabled. I saw people who are basically in like different types of countries that their average salary might be $100 a month, and they lost $1,000, and they don't even know how to feed their families. I've seen people who are literally on the verge of being homeless, if not homeless already. And you see this CEO who is gloating about this and taking money out. I think without a doubt, if like the justice system prevails, Alex should be in jail.
Well,
you'd
that's
think
our
so.
story. I reached out to Alex Mashinsky about these allegations, and he declined to comment, except to say I should talk to a Celsius employee named to clear up the FUD. Now, I talked to this employee, but they declined to go on the record themselves, and when asked if anyone within Celsius wanted to speak with me, I was told nobody is willing to go on the record with you. So that's where we're going to
Aw.
leave that. And as for Celsius, the company, they're trying to reopen their doors.
What?
They have a new plan to basically distribute whatever's left back to the holders and lawyers. And I'm not going to go too much into the details of this plan, but if you're a creditor, you can visit this page to learn more. It's not a perfect plan by any means, but I'm not sure I have any better ideas of what to do with such a bad situation. So that's it for me for now. I hope the wait was worth it, guys, for
Interesting.
this video. We're trying to level up the production behind the scenes. So if you enjoy all the in-depth investigations, please consider supporting us
Thanks,
on
Prime Davey.
Patreon. These videos are a lot of work to produce. But either way, I'll see you in the next one.
Good shit, coffee. I was always wondering what happened to Celsius, because it was right around the time of Terra Luna. I think it was actually like 2 weeks, well, maybe a little more. Somewhere very close to the Terra Luna collapse was when the Celsius collapse happened. Yeah, this definitely just does seem like a textbook Ponzi scheme. Exhibits girth. Yeah, I'll check it out. Crypto basically gambling. Some people hit big and most lose all their money. Yep, I mean, not wrong. This one was supposed to be less of a gamble because it was propped up as like, we're going head to head with the banks. We're gonna, you know, no one likes banks. You could trust us, but you can't trust banks, so come with us. But even still. Thanks to give some Maddie. Like how crypto gets shit, like people don't lose their life savings in the stock market all the time. Yeah, I don't see people like sucking the stock market's dick. It's not, I mean, it's kind of a weird whataboutism. It's just crypto scams can happen from like anyone. Like a literal nobody can start a crypto scam and make millions off of you. That doesn't really happen in the stock market. You're getting fucked by corporations. In the crypto space, literally anybody can. But the beauty of crypto scams is most of the time it's actual nothingness. At least when you're getting fucked in the stock market, you had something. You bought a piece of something, and you just got fucked. So you did have something. In crypto, you get literally nothing but worthless nonsense. Receipts. Things are some crazy and emotional. And the bits posterized. And tier 1 Pope. Do I still have a dickload of crypto? So the one that I had back in 2016, that atomic wallet shit, I lost access to. I talked about that. That's the one that had all the Sia coin. I think there's still 2 Bitcoin on it somewhere in there. But I'll never be able to get that back. And then all the shit from like 20... Fuck, I don't remember, 2018 or whatever. All of that, yeah, I still have. I haven't checked it in like 2 years now, though. I imagine most of it's worthless, as it should be. Thanks to give sub Love Girls and resub Hellstorm. I don't think there was some big conspiracy like how all of this crashed as soon as it was becoming popular and somewhat threatening to financial institutions. No, man, the big thing was people. A lot of it was just actual fraudulent scams. And as the scams kept rolling in, faith in the entire industry of crypto started to waver more and more. Literally the 3rd most popular crypto, Terra Luna, turned out to be a massive fraudulent scam. Nothing was safe. It wasn't some kind of like crazy, fucking Freemason conspiracy of the stock market sabotage crypto. The people running the cryptos were just scam artists. Like from the start. Is the resub Mig Waifu PewDiePie and give sub posterized? And the Prime B-dub. I don't think all crypto is a pyramid scheme. I'm sure there are projects in the crypto space that aren't scams. It's just a large chunk of them are now and have been. Which is why everything's kind of in the shitter. People getting tired of being scammed. You don't see the market in general being down in tech as any correlation? Any correlation of what? Crypto being in the shitter? You can point to many different things, but I think the obvious one is how many rampant scams took place. You seem to really want to overlook that. I don't think crypto and the general tech market run synonymously. They don't go in tandem. I think the constant scamming, fucking Terra Luna being the third largest, Celsius I know is in the top 5 or top 10, can't quite remember. All just blatant Ponzi's. FTX, God, Jesus, FTX was actually like the largest crypto exchange for a time. I could go on and on and on. I think those are your biggest culprits for why crypto's in the shitter. And even before that, yeah, if we want to go ancient history, you had the Mt. Gox collapse. You had the infamous BitConnect. I mean, we could go on for hours talking about all of the absolutely massive, massive scams in the space. FTX was larger than Coinbase. I thought it was, right? For a little bit, wasn't it? Maybe I'm getting wires crossed. But either way, FTX was still one of the biggest in the world. I really thought it was bigger than Coinbase at a certain point, but maybe not. FTX was number 2. Thanks, Resub Madman. And yeah, I like Sleep Token. They're a good band. And they give Sub Posterized. And the resub Elekshi. Why is this industry not being more heavily regulated? That's one of their big things, is the no regulation. Thanks to the Bits Mac. Probably not. I did want to check out the Kira thing. Which one is it from him? I'll just look it up. Here, I'll just do Bored Ape. It'll probably come up with that. I guess not. Oh, what's it called? You said he went through on Dookie Dash about like how it was botted and cheated, which everyone knew it would be. Kira's getting fake DMCA'd. Let me see. Where does he talk about it? It's on his second channel. The nightmare of crypto land is sending me DMCA strikes.
I'm not even really sure what to say at this point. This is another video about me getting copyright takedown notices on my main YouTube channel, Kira TV. This time, it's from Cryptoland. Everyone's favorite. You know it, you love it. And this caught me by surprise. This caught me off guard a little bit because I just don't understand where this came from, to be honest. They don't make videos anymore. They've not made a video in 7 months. They're not trying to raise money anymore, as far as I'm aware. They're not promoting any of the stuff that they were originally using, and yet they've waited like a year from my original Cryptoland video to just come out randomly. The timing of this is strange, and obviously we're going to talk about what my conspiracy theory is as to what's going on at the moment with my
I think probably what happened is some other bad actors acting on behalf of Cryptoland. That's kind of rampant on the platform right now, where people are impersonating corporations, companies, or even individuals doing shit like that.
channel,
That'd be my guess.
And who's behind this. But I'll show you. It's so fucking pathetic. So this is what I woke up to today. Hello. I'm getting really familiar with these, loving it. I've been on YouTube, by the way, for over 3 years now. I've made over 1,000 videos. In 3 years, in 1,000 videos, I've received precisely 0 copyright takedown notices. Because I don't steal copyright. I don't, it's fairly common sense. I've received 0 in over 1,000 videos in 3 years. In the last 40 days, I've received 25.
Jesus
I think, in total.
Christ.
So here we go. We received the copyright infringement notification below regarding your video. We believe your content is protected by fair use, fair dealing, or a similar exception to copyright protection. We're writing to let you know that we do not plan to remove your video at this time. You have control over the availability of your videos on the channel, including the ability to delete them if you choose. Please be advised it's possible the copyright owner will approach you directly to request the removal or take other action. This email is not intended as legal advice. If you're interested in more information regarding your options on this matter, you may wish to consult a qualified attorney. Please note the complaint's physical address and phone number have been redacted from the copyright infringement notification below. So that's what I woke up to. Again, it seems like a almost daily occurrence at this point. And then, as you can see, this was who it came from, Cryptoland World. We remain concerned that the copyright notification is not valid for some or all the videos identified in your notification. So there might even be more. There might even be more coming through. I might just be waiting.
Does he show the screenshot of their answers to the questions?
But this
I'd
is
love
the
to
one
see
that
it.
I got from Cryptoland owner.
Sometimes
Cryptoland
YouTube provides
World, the URL of the infringing video and describe of the work. Where does the content appear? Entire video. Factually untrue. I'm not going to go through the video and point by point.
2 words.
This
Nice.
factually didn't happen. Again, signed under penalty of perjury, etc., etc. And then when YouTube said, we don't think this is a valid DMCA, we don't think this is copyright infringement, we think it's fair use, they replied with this. Because YouTube, the way that it goes is, they send the copyright takedown notice, YouTube processes it, deems whether or not they think it is based on the original notice, and then if they don't deem that there's any problem and they're not going to take it down, they give the person who's sending the notification a chance to further explain and to give them some sort of like context or legal reason as to why this is actually copyright infringement and should be legally taken down. So this was the 2nd of March where they replied, this is undeniably a valid copyright notification, and this automatic response is very unsuited for the video in question. It's not an automated response. It's just a template they send back to you. They're not looking at the video.
I love this second sentence. I'll wait for Kira to read it.
It's not automated. Failing to take action on this matter will make YouTube legally liable for the damages caused.
I really want to see fucking Cryptoland take YouTube to court over it. That would be an amazing showdown. Cryptoland is, I'm sure I don't even need to explain it. Cryptoland's that absolutely fucking diabolical, awful fucking scam where it was like Reddit Island, but for crypto bros, where you buy their coin and you can buy like a fucking cubic meter of land on an island that they claim to own or something. It was so bad. And they had that absolutely awful animation with the Bitcoin guy who's like, he's just a Bitcoin who talks and he's real zany. It was so goofy. And then they also went on Twitter when they're like, what's the age of consent on the island? And then the response from the official Cryptoland Twitter was, mental maturity is age enough, or something like that. And then with like a winky face. It was so fucking awful. Thanks for the gift sub, Junior. I have to imagine this didn't actually come from Cryptoland. There's no way they'd be this fucking dumb. There's no shot they'd be this dumb. Thanks for the sub, Stone Samurai.
Which damages are they? Our attorneys specialise on copyright DMCA law. Should have got them to fill it out for you then. And the reported content is not protected by fair use nor fair dealing. No copyright exceptions apply. Okay? Number one, the infringing video uses large portions of our copyright content without authorization, with multiple infringement incidents found. Okay? Number two, the market for our original work is severely affected by this use.
Don't make a scam.
Your market was trying to get people to buy a $1.5 million NFT of an island that you don't own, using a video that you stole assets in, and used people's likeness and things without their permission. Used assets you had no permission to use commercially, and you were trying to sell people things that you don't even own. So how is my video affecting
what? Wait, I just read number 3.
Competing for this market. The infringing video does not transform our original work at all. He's not commenting, reviewing, criticizing, or parodying our content. It's just being illegally used as stock footage for other purposes multiple times along the video. The infringing video does not fall into an exception to copyright protection. The infringing channel does not ask for permission, has not credited us, nor has informed us about using our...
Did they file this for the wrong video or something? All Kira did was slap it down and show the footage as the critique. They're just blatantly lying. Or attacked the wrong video. The whole thing was criticism, critique. And then used the footage to talk about it. Not even close. Copy and paste email, must have been, yeah. Probably. Thanks the resub Omega. A chat GPT email? Maybe it is. I can tell you one thing, they certainly don't have attorneys at Cryptoland. That much I can promise you. How does YouTube punish people who file false copyright claims? I don't know if they do it often, but I do remember a case where they actually sued someone who was a serial abuser of the system, and they fined him $25,000 per instance of fraudulent request. It was such a smackdown, because it is illegal. I don't know if they act on every single culprit. They might save it for people who do it multiple times, but they fucked that guy up. Was it the Destiny dude who reposted? No, well, I don't know. Maybe. I know who you're talking about. I don't know. I know YouTube themselves did it once, and that you're talking about Bungie, where Bungie's doing something similar, or did something similar. YouTube themselves did it in a case. Thanks to resub Jason. But yeah, it looks like Kira's not getting anything taken down, which is good. Just pretty fucking embarrassing from Cryptoland. Lovely. That's still a thing? Not really. When is the Bored Ape game coming out? You talking about the MMO? I don't know. But they already did Dookie Dash. Oh yeah, I saw the Sons of the Forest speedrun. This seemed fake though. Where is it? Who uploaded it? I'll go by the uploader, it might be easier. Thanks to Resub Hero and Yukiwi. It seemed like they used some kind of mod or something as opposed to like an actual legitimate speedrun. Oh, that's right, it was, okay, that's gonna be so fucking hard to find. I'll just go to Twitter. Huh. Where is it? Not here. It just doesn't seem real. Like that, this just doesn't seem like a glitch. That's a cheat with Wiimod. That's what I'm saying. It seems more like some kind of mod than a glitch. But even outside of this, the second thing he does, I find to be even more suspicious. So he's very slow in here. Like he's not even sprinting. Which is weird. And then he takes these like he stops randomly sometimes. And instead of clipping through the wall, he goes all the way down. And then he does this. This little wiggle and then like super speeds. And it seems like that wiggle is just more like a red herring to make it look more like a glitch when really it's a cheat. It just doesn't seem legitimate at all. Pretty sure it's fake. I literally do this with the Wiimod keybinds. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Thanks, Resub Good Weird. And the Prime Posh. You see the new one today? It's on the leaderboard that's actually fully legit for Sons of the Forest. Nah, what is it? You looking into Dr. Disrespect's new crypto game? Oh, did he post something from it? Oh, well, I don't think I can even pull him up on stream. I'll look it up here. Did he post something from the game? Thanks a Bits Mercy. Yeah, I just speedran recently. I see a couple people calling it a scam. I don't know if it's like a scam. To me, it just seems like a wild idea that's a little silly. So the tweet, and I'm assuming it's about the tweet, if that's what people are talking about. He made a tweet saying, picture you're in my game, and you just found a $100,000 item and you're trying to extract. It'd be amazing content for viewers and all that. But he fails to realize that if there's an item worth $100,000 in the real world, people are going to cheat the fuck out of your game, and there's no way you're going to have an anti-cheat that's able to stop it. And when people cheat, and they will, and they steal that shit from people, that's going to be the most devastating experience of all time. I lost 100K to a cheater. None of the big AAA companies can prevent cheating. There's a 0% chance his studio can. Thanks, Prime, Kern. That's the whole point of the blockchain and NFTs, to prevent just that. We're going to need to have a quick sit down about the blockchain and NFTs. If there's one thing they don't prevent, is cheating. What in the fuck are you talking about? He's making a game. And in the game, you would pick up an NFT worth 100K, and then you'd need to extract with it in order to get that NFT. Thus, a cheater can easily take that from you in the game. The blockchain and NFTs aren't this magical thing. They're not. It's a piece of technology. It's an impressive piece of technology that is misused drastically by so many people for rampant scamming. Now, in Dr. Disrespect's game, the NFTs are used as like a thrilling tool and could also make money, where you get NFTs in the game that can translate to real world money. And you know what that's going to incentivize? People to cheat and steal that shit from players. Because then you're making real money from it. Then there's real reason to cheat. And you will not stop them. Studios with billions of dollars can't fucking stop them. There's no way Dr. Disrespect and his team can. If I get an NFT, I can secure it via a hardware wallet. Brother, let's clear out the brainworms for a second. That's not even what we're talking about. In the game, you get the NFT and you have to extract with it, meaning you have to play the game. I don't know if you played Tarkov. In Tarkov, you need to get to a point and extract with your shit to take your items with you. So in his game, that NFT you got, you still need to complete that raid. You have to complete that and get out. A cheater will kill you before you get out, and he will take that from you. So it would never make it to your hardware cold storage wallet. It wouldn't get there. You'd lose it before it even had a chance. Why getting angry? I don't know. It's not really angry. It's more just passionate. I think it's just a lot of confusion. Like, I'm not angry at people for being confused on it. The blockchain and all that shit is always a very confusing thing that people get the wrong impressions of. Thanks a resub, Onituna. And the bits Yeety. This will be the first game where cheating is a legitimate job. Well, I guess not the first game. A lot of other games, people cheat and sell the accounts and make a living off that, but this would be on a whole different scale. Let's be real, no one buying NFTs for 100K anymore. Yeah, no, I don't see it going for like 100K like he mentions in his tweet. I think he was just being like exaggeratory for the sake of like hype. But even still, if there's money in it, even if it's like $300, people will download cheats. People will cheat the fuck out of that game. And it'll probably be very easy to do so. Thanks to Tier 1 Emily. You think it's the doc? Do you think it's the doc's idea to add NFTs? Yeah, he's been the strongest proponent of it. That was the whole core idea of it. It's not like Dr. Disrespect is just being used like a puppet by NFT bros or anything. It is legitimately his whole pitch on the game. He finds it to be one of the most exciting components of it. He's made that clear from the start. I'm all for creators like making those big projects like games and stuff. I think his is just a little lost in the sauce of reality. When you have a game that can generate money for players, which is a very cool concept. Who doesn't love the idea? Get good at the game, make money playing the game. Very cool. You know, there's nothing to dislike about that. But in this case, what he fails to recognize is when you incentivize players to play the game and make money from it, it's going to open it up to cheaters to exploit it. And you can't stop them. It's just going to get completely abused. Thanks, Resub Carney. How do competitive esports stop it? What, cheaters? They don't. The people that go pro aren't cheaters, but the games are still rampant with cheaters. Christ, look at Apex, for example. Fuck, even easier, Call of Duty. But the pros... And shit, there has been cheating even in the pro scene, but they usually get caught. Thanks the resub, Jake. Did you see the Aiden Ross Destiny debate about Andrew Tate? Oh my fucking god. Thanks resub Blank and the Prime Blueberry. Oh my fucking god. Yeah. Yeah. What game do you want to take MoistCr1tikal to next? I don't know, we'll see. Well, I definitely want a Street Fighter 6 player soon. before 6 comes out. Like a top 5 player. Thanks to Resub Wolf in the Primal. And the Resub Raven. By the way, the Tarkov 60% stat is false. Oops, sorry, hold on, I want to read that. By the way, the Tarkov 60% stat is just false. By the way, at least 2 of the 13 clips he showed were proved false. Not just going to take some random's word for it. He also refuses to release the rest of his clips. P.S. I got 4K hours in Tarkov, and nobody above average will agree with that number. What number? The 60% are cheaters or something? I'm assuming is what you're referring to. He's a tier 1 Kern. There is a major problem with cheating in Tarkov, though. Even if the number isn't 60%, it still doesn't nullify the point of cheaters being rampant. "60% of the raids, there was a cheater." Oh, not 60% of players are cheaters. Gotcha. Thanks to Resub Sweet. Have you heard of Nico Leonard? Sounds familiar. I have 6K hours on Tarkov. Cheaters are rampant, but a lot of them are closet wallers who will never admit they wall, and they try to remain as less obvious as possible. Well, yeah, no one's just going to be a blatant cheater. That sounds about right. Blatant cheaters happen all the time. In Tarkov, do they? Half of Tarkov cheaters are idiots with no concept of how to actually play. That's a lot of pub cheaters, though. Usually someone cheating in pubs is pretty shit at the game. The cheaters at the highest level are the ones that you'd never suspect. These are Resub and Panic. And the bits Kern. What do I oh god, that game was crazy, yeah. I finally got to watch the VOD. Is the bits posterized? Even streamers hack. I don't see a lot of like cheating streamers these days. Early Twitch there was quite a few, but not anymore really. I can't think of the last big cheating scandal with a streamer. Like a confirmed cheating scandal with a streamer. I see like a couple pop up now and then. like on like TikTok with people cheating, but like that's not like a big streamer or anything like that. It can just be done so well that no one notices. It's very possible. Is cheating streaming dead or not as popular? I'd say it's probably dead. Yeah, we just watched the CoffeeZilla video. Streamer was caught cheating in CSGO and claimed her friend... Oh, you're explaining the Clara thing. Thanks, Risa Blue Entity. Remember Jarvis? Has he ever bounced back? Let's see. Looks like he mainly does boxing now. Yeah, it looks like it's just mainly boxing. What about his brother Kay? Save the kids. Kind of the same thing. There's the bitch Shadow in the prime that boy. His bro uses Jarvis's face. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't even realize. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Yeah, is Kay in a single one of these videos, or is it all just Jarvis? Yeah, I didn't even realize I wasn't on Jarvis's channel anymore. I just zoned the fuck out. Every single one of these is Jarvis. Oh, here's Kay 9 months ago. Thanks, a resub, Adam. Thanks to the resub MCR and Terrific. And the prime need. And thanks to the prime moon trash. Have you seen the new Transformers game? Thanks, Risa Big J. You said the same thing last time you were on his channel? Did I? I don't remember the last time I came here, to be honest. It must have been like 6-7 months ago. But I mean, it looks like he's been doing this for the last year, so yeah, I probably said the same fucking thing. Have you ever done a drumstick ice cream tier list? Nope. Can't say I have. Thanks to the Prime Lizard. You seen the Corridor digital drama? Yeah, we were talking about it like yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. Do an Oreo flavor tier list. Interesting you mentioned that. We actually filmed an Oreo tier list like 2 years ago, but every fucking Oreo was just good, so it just was Matt and I eating Oreos and enjoying it. So we were like, this kind of fucking sucks, so we didn't post it. They really weren't bad Oreo flavors. Oh, we don't have it anymore. This was like 2 years ago. We absolutely deleted that. It just wasn't worth posting. It was literally just us smiling and eating Oreos. It was just like, they were good. All of them were between B and S. What are your thoughts on the Overwatch One Punch Man skin collabs? I think that's hype. I love when games do that shit. Thanks for the 10 gift subs, Dong. Appreciate it, man. You won't release that, but you released the hottest SpongeBob character tier list? Well, someone had to. Does he do anything or just sit here watching paint dry? Brother, I just looked at your post history. You've been here for 3 months. And you've talked here throughout multiple gaming streams. The one night where I'm just kicking back and shooting the shit. And now you have an issue. Exit tier 1 snuff. The last message you said before that was literally good night, but not to those Transformers. Fucking loser. Thanks for the bits, butter. Thanks, resub Chainsaw Man. Are there any police chases in Florida? Not often. Not that I hear about it. I don't see a lot of them. Not like LA. Even 9 gift subs, Dong. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the generosity. Thanks, Arisa Brinsky. It's mainly just LA that I see all the police chases from. That is just kind of the hub. There was one the other day, too. I didn't bother to watch it because I heard it wasn't... Oh, I just did BC7. I didn't bother to watch it because I heard it was pretty underwhelming, but there's a police chase every day. Every single day in LA, at least one. There's a tier 1 King Dragon. And the resub. Medale. And the Prime TMC. Wasn't there a huge police chase today? Well, I don't know about that. I just know this one wasn't very interesting. I don't remember if I said this, but thanks to the tier 1 King Dragon. And the tier 1 Killajoule. And the Prime Mike. And the resub Gads. And the resub Monshore. And Poser. Then again, the valleys don't get as much heat compared to Central LA. Well, is it Central LA? It's usually like more South LA, isn't it?
Have been able to identify the officer, an LAPD officer. It's hard to
Oh,
tell.
there's a police chase on motorcycle.
Right behind the vehicle, we may see this suspect start to drive erratically and dangerously. Once
It's not
again.
even Chris
Waiting for
Casting.
an air unit to get overhead. We're in the Mission Hills area on Rinaldi, just coming up on the 5
Oh,
freeway. And this looks
he
like
won.
good news, at least initially. It appears the suspect is pulling over.
I think he's waiting for the officer to get off the bike before he speeds away.
We're going to stop here, but there you go. We sort of saw that little bit of emotion in the vehicle as it started to turn over or pull over, and the CHP motorcycle officer came up behind him. That he sort of hesitated, and sure enough, as soon as the officer started to get off his bike, the suspect took off. So we're southbound on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, away from Rinaldi.
Chris's voice was probably sore from so many police chases he's been casting recently, so they had to give him a break.
The high rate of speed, I think it was up to 75 miles an hour on the surface street. See how dangerous it is when a pedestrian crosses. Going through red lights, a CHP officer, only one motor officer behind, and no air unit overhead yet. We're on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, vehicle traveling at an extremely high rate of speed. We understand it's an Infinity, initially wanted up on the 5 freeway by Hosley Canyon, speeding.
He didn't try to get off the bike, he pulled his gun out. Yeah, he did get off with that piece in his hand. Well, it looked like he was getting off with it.
But moments ago, the vehicle really accelerated. The suspect did in that vehicle to that rate of speed street in Pacoima. And the suspect, it looks like only one person in that street, nothing over, maybe into an area they're familiar with, looking behind to see if the CHP motor officer is still right behind, and then nonchalantly getting out of the car.
Wow, this is very casual. What the fuck?
Hoping they can walk onto the curb and maybe just walk away, but that's
okay.
not going to happen. This is Deventry Street.
What is the plan here? You can't. The choppers are out. This won't work.
Only one person got out. Slowly walking down the sidewalk.
We can easily see you.
He won't be picked up by officers, but they're en route to this location now. But we're certainly fortunate at this point in time that no one was hurt. No one that we know about was hurt, at least since we got on this. But there were certainly some very close calls.
What the fuck?
Into this neighborhood. Did we lose him for a minute? No, he's still walking there. And it really was a concern for us when we saw him driving that erratically up to 70 miles an hour on Laurel Canyon, trying to get away from the CHP motor officer, and then getting into this area.
He's just hanging out now.
So we're fortunate we're not seeing that vehicle
He's
travel
some
at those
cheesy.
types of speeds amongst these homes here in Pacoima. But we're overhead. We have the suspect in sight, walking down the curb there. And more than likely,
this is an interesting strategy. I haven't seen it. Haven't seen this yet. This is a new approach.
On the 5 freeway and the Newhall Pass, That's how erratic this was and how dangerous this pursuit was.
He has to know the choppers are out,
I
right?
don't know if we can re-rack some video if we have the ability to do that, but just a few moments ago, driving on Laurel Canyon, coming into the northbound lanes headed southbound, and then swerving around, trying to get in and out of traffic, almost like something you'd see in a movie, and fortunately, luckily, did not hit anyone. So we are passing this information on right now. You certainly
Where are the ground cops? I don't know. Interesting question, yeah. They weren't far behind a minute ago. I guess they stopped. Oh, there's a dog.
As well as their own. We're on Haddon Avenue in Pacoima. I believe the suspect's walking northbound at this point in time. We are going to keep an eye on this.
Oh, more
somewhat,
dogs.
Strange that they haven't got on this yet because the CHP motor officer was pretty close. I'm assuming they have our feed. They can see the street that he's walking down. They've got a good description of the suspect. And it would be surprising if LAPD, this is their jurisdiction, if they don't pull in here at any moment and take the suspect into custody. If we tilt up a little bit, Chad, I might be able to get that street right there, that east-west street, I believe. I'm not sure if he's headed back towards Laurel Canyon. That's Paxton Street.
Thanks, Prime Gun.
The suspect is on Haddon Street watching towards Paxton.
Hey, Umbrella. Probably like a 9.
As I mentioned, we would just believe at any point in time here, sometime soon, that suspect will be taken into custody. It was really unusual to see the suspect pull over.
He's able to send a lot of text messages here before he gets arrested.
Like nothing had happened.
He went through his whole contacts list.
Walked around the vehicle, got onto the sidewalk, looked
Thanks,
around a little bit, and there you go.
Snooker and
We
gift
knew
sub
this was
Kissy
gonna happen.
Mav.
We knew
Good to
this
see
was
you. I hope
just
you're
a
doing
matter
well.
of time, and these are dicey situations like this. We've lost the suspect. Hopefully he's down. Because
How did they
he's not
find
down
him?
And abiding their commands at this point in time.
They're
We see
cheating.
Situations like this turn into shootings. They don't know if the suspect is armed. They only know that he's desperate. They know that he was willing to drive erratically and endanger a lot of people. So at this point in time, guns are drawn. As we come around here on the sidewalk, though, it looks like the suspect is face down. He's obeying the commands of officers, and the suspect is going to be taken into custody. But certainly, this was an extremely dangerous pursuit.
Officers, you're letting the actual bad guy get away. I'm just an innocent man walking on the sidewalk and texting. I had nothing to do with the police chase.
Laurel Canyon into oncoming traffic.
I mean, I guess it was worth a try. Look at the bits posterized. Would have worked 40 years ago. I don't even think it would have worked 40 years ago. Unless he stole that car, they have all of his information just based off of the license plate from their chase. So, like, even if he just walked home, they still have all of his info. He'd still be fucking blasted. There's resubs, Ironics. And Levi. And Ruben and the 5 gift subs. Venom. Hey Venom, hope you had a good day. Go home and report it stolen. Oh, now we're thinking galaxy brain. Yeah, get out of the car. Like, try and, like, get under the protection of some trees or something. Make it to your house and just, like, put in a phone call. Like, my car's not in my garage. I fear someone has stolen it. That's big. Thanks the bits back. The top 4 wildest police chases with massive vehicles, huh? What if someone else was in the car and he was the distraction? Well, they're going to go to the car regardless, I'm sure. They'll check it for, like, drugs or something. We always do. 100% they'll go to the car, so even if there was someone else in there, they would have found them if they were stayed in the car. And if they got out, like, after he did, then that would be pretty smart, I guess. Exhibit lack. Alright, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna call it a night. Alright, thanks for tuning in. New subs, welcome aboard. Sub means a lot. Enjoy the emotes. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great evening, everyone. See you tomorrow.